Just now, YuLong cancels major appearance last minute. Yangmeimei's name whispered in the silence. The auditorium was ready. Thousands of fans had already filled the seats, cameras positioned, lights glowing with anticipation. The red carpet shimmered beneath spotlights, journalists clutched microphones, and the night was supposed to be one of triumph, YuLong's first major public appearance since his miraculous recovery. But then, just minutes before the event was set to begin, everything stopped. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update in the world of your favorite celebrities. A single announcement echoed through the venue speakers. Due to unforeseen personal circumstances, Mr. YuLong will not be attending tonight's event. The crowd fell silent. At first, it didn't make sense. The stage backdrop still read, "Welcome back, YuLong." The press release had promised his emotional return. The host had even prepared a special tribute segment in his honor. And yet, the star everyone had come to see, the man who had just survived the darkest chapter of his life, was nowhere to be found. The whispers began almost immediately. Is he sick again? Did something happen? Where's yangmeimei? Within moments, the energy of the hall changed. Cameras that were once pointed toward the stage turned toward the exits. The red carpet was suddenly empty, the press interviews abruptly canceled. Publicists rushed back and forth with urgent phone calls, faces pale, voices trembling with uncertainty. The atmosphere felt heavy, anxious, like a storm brewing just beyond the doors. And then, from the quiet chaos backstage, one name slipped through the whispers. One name that seemed to carry both fear and tenderness. Yangmeimei. Reporters began piecing it together. Sources close to YuLong confirmed that he had arrived at the venue earlier that afternoon. He had gone through rehearsals, sound checks, even makeup. By all accounts, he looked calm, even excited. He had reportedly told one staff member, "Tonight feels like a new beginning." But then something changed. Just 15 minutes before he was set to step on stage, YuLong received a phone call. No one knows exactly what was said, but those nearby said they saw his expression fall instantly, the color draining from his face. He stood in silence for nearly a full minute, then placed his phone down and whispered something to his manager. "I can't go out there." When the manager asked why, YuLong's voice was faint, almost breaking. "She needs me." And just like that, the man the entire country had been waiting to celebrate walked out of the building. By nightfall, social media erupted. Hashtag Where is YuLong? Hashtag YuLong cancel. Hashtag yangmeimei. All trended globally within minutes. Every fan, every journalist, every analyst was asking the same question. What happened? And where was he going? Then, hours later, blurry photos began to appear online. A black van speeding through the quiet streets of Beijing. YuLong sitting in the back seat, wearing a dark cap, his face turned toward the window, his phone pressed tightly against his ear. The timestamp matched the exact moment he was supposed to be walking on stage. And the destination? The Central Medical Center, the same hospital where he had once fought for his life. Outside the hospital, a handful of fans waiting nearby said they saw him rush through the doors, visibly shaken, asking for someone by name. He looked terrified, one witness told reporters. He just kept saying, "Where is she? Is she all right?" Within minutes, hospital security cleared the entrance. The media tried to follow, but the doors shut tight behind him. Then, an hour later, a second car arrived. Yangmeimei's manager. She exited quickly, wearing a long coat, her face hidden by a scarf and mask. But the moment she stepped inside, the truth became impossible to ignore. Whatever had pulled YuLong away from the stage was about her. Inside sources later confirmed that Yangmeimei had been admitted earlier that evening after a fainting spell on set. She had reportedly collapsed during filming, exhaustion, perhaps stress, and was brought in for emergency observation. YuLong had found out just minutes before walking onto the stage. He hadn't hesitated. He didn't think about headlines. He didn't think about the crowd waiting for him. He thought only of her. Hours passed with no official statement. Outside the hospital, the media camped under flickering lights, their voices low, their lenses trained on the entrance. Fans gathered quietly with candles, holding signs that read, "Stay strong, both of you." Then, close to midnight, a single photograph emerged. A hospital worker had captured it through the glass doors. YuLong, sitting beside yangmeimei's hospital bed. His head bowed, his hand clasped tightly around hers. She appeared to be resting, pale but peaceful. And there, in the soft light of the room, the world saw the truth. This wasn't about drama. This wasn't about fame. This was love, raw, fragile, unfiltered love. By morning, YuLong's team finally released an official statement. YuLong's sudden absence last night was due to a personal emergency. Actress Mei experienced a brief medical incident on set and is currently stable. Mr. YuLong's priority remains her well-being. We thank fans for their understanding and ask for privacy. That was all. No excuses. No PR polish. Just honesty. The world reacted with overwhelming emotion. On social media, fans wrote messages like, "He didn't walk onto the stage because he walked into the hospital instead." When love calls, even fame waits. Many said they had never seen such quiet devotion, a man who would abandon the spotlight without a second thought, just to be where his heart was needed most. One headline captured it perfectly. The stage waited, but she needed him more. Later that night, a nurse posted anonymously online, sharing a detail that no one else knew. She wrote, "When YuLong arrived, we tried to tell him she'd be fine. But he just looked at her and said, 'I promised her she'd never face a hospital room alone again.' Then he sat there all night holding her hand. He didn't even sleep." The post went viral within minutes. Because those words, quiet, simple, filled with love, painted the picture that headlines could not. A man once saved by a woman's faith, now saving her in return. As dawn broke, the hospital lights dimmed once again. Mei stirred awake, her eyes fluttering open slowly. The first thing she saw was him, slumped over the edge of her bed, asleep, still holding her hand. She smiled faintly, her voice barely a whisper. "Still here?" He opened his eyes, half awake, half tearful. "Always," he said. The world had waited for his words. For nearly 48 hours, YuLong's silence had become deafening. The cancelled appearance. The hospital whispers. The photo that had already broken the internet. Him, holding Mei's hand in the dim glow of the hospital ward. The question echoed across every platform, every fan page, every trending tag. What really happened that night? And then, at exactly 9 p.m. the following evening, the silence broke. YuLong appeared live on his official channel. No grand backdrop. No music. No makeup. Just him, seated in a simple white room, a small pendant light above his head, his voice quiet, his eyes soft yet full of emotion. He took a deep breath before speaking. "I know I disappointed a lot of people that night," he began. "I know some of you waited for hours, some of you traveled across cities just to see me. You deserved to see me walk onto that stage. You deserved that moment. But I couldn't do it." He paused, his hand trembling slightly as he continued. "When I got the call, I didn't think. I just ran. Because the person on the other end of that line said something that stopped my heart. They said, 'Mei Mei collapsed.'" He lowered his gaze, a flicker of pain crossing his face. "I've faced many things in my life, pain, rumors, loneliness, but hearing that she was hurt again, it broke me." Later that night, another video surfaced online, a short clip taken by a nurse. YuLong was sitting by Mei's bedside, reading from a worn-out notebook. He said softly, "You once told me that love is what's left when the world stops clapping. I think now, I finally understand what you meant." She smiled faintly, whispering back, "The world may stop clapping, but I'll never stop listening." And for a moment, the room fell silent again, filled not with noise or fame, but something pure, something eternal. By morning, one headline summed it up perfectly across every major outlet. YuLong didn't walk on stage that night. He walked into love. And across the world, millions of fans cried, not out of sadness, but because in a world obsessed with spotlight, One man had chosen something far more radiant, the quiet, steady light of devotion.